Flosstube. Hi, it's Lisa. I am coming to you from the Pacific Northwest. It is March 7th. Um, yeah, I don't have a cross-stitch update. I think I made progress on my invierno since I last, wow, it's only been a week. What am I? Bye, see you later. No, yeah, anyway, I think I did a little bit on my invierno last week, but my brain has been otherwise occupied. Otherwise occupied. I fell full tilt into redesigning my inner, indulging my inner dwarf and redesigning my Lady Dees cosplay. And for those of you who aren't familiar, I mean, she's one of what, four, maybe five named characters in the Hobbit Lord of the Rings series. Arwen, uh, I'm blanking. Arwen, Eomer's sister, because, you know, Eomer in the movies was hot. Eowyn. Arwen, Eowyn, and Galadriel. And I think that was it, right? Well, Lady Dees is mentioned in the books, and she is Thorin's sister. She's Fili and Kili's mother. And I just decided, why not embrace the mom? Why not embrace the maternal spirit? And instead of trying to cosplay some young dwarf or something else, why don't you just cosplay the mom? Okay, I will. So I did Lady Dees, and it was my first cosplay I ever did was a dwarf. And I made it again 2 years ago, and it's too big now, and it never quite fit, and I wasn't real happy with how it turned out. So I'm biting the bullet and gonna make it over again. So anyway, that's what I've been working on. That's what I'm going to talk a little bit about today. I thought I'd pop in and give a quick update if anybody is interested. So if you're just here for the cross stitch content, I'm done. Thank you, and talk to you later. If you want to see what I'm working on, I'll take me a few minutes and I'll just talk a little bit about what I got going on with that. So in the movies, they based the dwarf ladies' outfits and even just the dwarven Erebor costuming on basically 15th, 16th century, 15th, 16th century Italian city-states. And what's really fun is that the Italian city-states were doing kind of their own thing, in particular with their women's fashions at that time. B, that was the beginning of the Renaissance. That was Da Vinci, that was Raphael, that was Titian. Here, I learn I learn so many words by reading. I don't know how to pronounce them out loud. Anyway, you know, so that was the heyday. That was Botticelli. They're all right. It's amazing when you realize they're all right there, and they all knew each other. And I'm reading a book on the Medici right now, and then I watched the quasi barely kind of sort of historical Medici series on Netflix too, which was fun. The costumes in that were really fun, even if they're not particularly the era I'm going for. Anyway, so that's what they based the dwarves on. And the dwarven ladies' dresses are based on, I think, Eleanor, Queen Eleanor of Madrid, or anyway, she was a Medici and she married another king, and her funeral dress is one that we have, and then we have paintings of the ones with the trim down the sides, and they took out the V bottom of the waistline, the bead waistline, but they have the trim down the sides and trim across the top, and they're a little bit ornate and whatnot. And they did put Tudor sleeves on one, and I'm just like, okay, I realize this is a fantasy and you're doing your own thing, but what are you thinking putting Tudor sleeves, Tudor dropped sleeves, elvish sleeves on a dwarven gown? Hello? I'm sorry, that's just, no. You don't do that. You don't put elvish sleeves on a dwarven gown. Anyway, so the first dwarf outfit I made, I kind of went with the style, and in two, it brought in some of the Saxon Viking elements where they have the apron straps and then they wear those big turtle brooches. They are called turtle brooches, and then they have the beads and whatnot. And then they kind of married that, I think, with the dwarven, and then they defaulted to, like I said, Turkish and not Turkish, but Turkmenistan and Afghani jewelry for their exotic and their other look, which I actually still have quite a bit. Well, not quite a bit, but I have the pieces I bought back, 15 years ago when I was belly dancing. But I don't want to use those. So I'm staying away from that. But anyway, so I have the first one I made, I just kind of mishmashed a bunch of patterns together, nothing really historical, and just called it good. And what was really fun was I went to Comic Con that year, and Weta Workshop was actually there. And one of the guys who helped design the dwarf ladies was there, and he loved my costume. It was really cool. I got a really cool autograph in because he also did. Yeah, that was fun. I mean, when the guy who made Treebeard tells you your dwarf costume is awesome, yeah. Anyway, but I wasn't happy with it, so I did a different one. And for that one, I actually bought a historical pattern. It's not the one I have here, but I got the wrong one. Anyway, it's kind of like this, only it had big puffy sleeves, and then it came into a narrow sleeve here. And then it never quite fit right. I put a lot of money into it, but it just didn't fit. And then when I tried it on a couple weeks ago, it was too big. It just was too big. And the way I made it, I can't really get into it to take it in. So yeah, I have to make another one, which again, anyway. So this is the shape I'm working off of, is this basic shape. And you can see this is a 1520s to 1525 Florentine ensemble. And you could tell if a woman in the painting was from Venice or from Florence by the design of their gowns. They really were very distinct there for a while, probably because they all hated each other and were off and on at war with each other. Anyway, so eventually I am going to make this dress kind of. I have some fabric. Well, I didn't get the fabric from Target. We're fortunate we still have independent fabric stores, and so one of them went out of business, but the other one is still in business, and they don't sell cheap fabric. But if you shop, you can find some good deals there. But anyway, I found this gorgeous brocade, and I can never tell how well these show up online, but I found this gorgeous kind of pink purpley brocade. And so I'm going to make, like I said, I'm kind of mixing and mashing because there's a painting by Titian that I'm also working off of a beautiful teal gown. And so that's going to be the bodice, and probably maybe, I don't know, maybe some sleeves. We'll see. But then I got this heel, and that'll be the skirt. So that's going to be my approximation of that actual gown. I'm going to do the bag sleeves and everything. I think it'll be fun. So that's what I'm going to make, maybe for a Ren Fair someday in the future. I don't know. That one I found the brocade and I found the things that match. It's like, get it now and you have the stuff. For Lady D's, I am doing something a little different. Don't laugh. This has to be my personal color scheme, because as I started pulling the color, I found fabrics and I started pulling it together. I realized this is almost exactly what I did for my belly dancing, for my first two belly dancing costumes that I made. And pretty much the same colors, maybe, yeah, just same color families. So yeah, that's what I want to do. So I have all the fabric. Now it's just a matter of doing the patterns, because like I said, I'm working off of this dress. I did make a mock-up of that bodice, and I'm not entirely comfortable with how it fits. And also, it's side lacing and side back lacing. So like that. And I think I can do that by myself, but I'm not 100% sure. So it's also, and why I'm saying it's period appropriate, I don't know, because I'm making a costume for a dwarf lady. Anyway, yes, she has a beard. I got this pattern, which is Italian Renaissance gowns, circa 1470 to 1505. So I don't like drafting patterns. I think I've said that with my sewing for my BGDs. I do not like drafting patterns. It's not fun. I do like mishmashing patterns. Mishmashing is fun. So I started with the bodice here. Like I said, I made a mock-up earlier today. But what I'm going to do, this is basically that same bodice, except that it laces at the side instead of the side back, which I think will be easier to get in and out of by myself. This bodice with this kind of ever after style arm, which is period, which is historical, where you have the piece, the colorful piece tied over the sleeve, and then another piece down here. And then I'm going to put, and then I'm going to use this sleeve as well because I've got different things going on. So anyway, yeah, that's what I'm going to do. And right now I'm transferring, I don't know if you can see it, I'm transferring patterns instead of cutting out the actual pattern off the tissue paper. I transfer it onto, you can buy pattern paper, which has grids, it's nice. This is the stuff that they use with bed skirts. If you're going to lay a bed skirt over a box springs, this is the stuff that goes under the bed, in between the mattress and the box springs. It's $1 a yard. It's like, it's about, I don't know, 70 inches wide, 50 inches wide. Well, it's 50 inches wide, and it's $1 a yard. So I just bought 10 yards of that, and I can make pattern pieces. And so then what I do is I just trace my pattern onto this and cut it out and use that then as my pattern piece. So that way I still have the original patterns. So that's what I'm doing. I have jewelry I'm making. I'm going to try using actual horsehair canvas. I've been watching a lot of historical sewing videos. And one of the things I noticed with historical sewing is that a lot of the times the way the dresses are put together, you can take them apart and remake them. And the way they're put together, it is easier to do that. And so that's why I'm probably going to, and that was one of the problems with my other dress, was I can't get into it. I'd have to take the whole thing apart to get into it, to resize it. And I don't know that the fabric will stand up to that. I used a sanded satin. It's really pretty for the bodice, but I just don't know that it'll stand up to that. So I'm going to try and put the pieces together more as pieces, and then that way I can take them apart. I'm also going to, like I said, do a side lacing. So this, and I don't know if you can see this, the light's not that good here. It's got a beautiful sheen to it. This is the skirt fabric. This gorgeous two-tone weave linen, I think it's a cotton linen blend. It washes. This does not. This does. Good argument for making the bodice a separate piece, huh? Anyway, so this will be the bodice and the covers, the arm covers, and then some of this will be part of the sleeve. And then for the cloak, I found this gorgeous cherry chocolate satin color. And that will be my cloak. And that will be my new dwarf outfit. So, the other thing I need to say is, Dr. Christie, when I said I needed to be tablet weaving, I meant it, I don't know, metaphorically, spiritually, something. I don't have time to tablet weave. I would love to tablet weave some trim for this. I would love to tablet weave a belt for this, a belt especially. I don't have time. There's just no way. I have too many things going on, and I have cross stitch to finish as well as the costume, because I have to make the dress, and then I also have to redo my wig. That's why the other teal and pinky burgundy dress is on the back burner for now. But I have this belt that a friend of mine made, my very, very good friend made for me. And it has some period specific some embroidery specifically from the movie. And I have machine embroidery. I had a little random piece of it floating around, but can I find it? Oh, there it is. Ah, got it. It's on the floor. I create in chaos, okay? There just has to be a certain level of chaos for creativity as far as I'm concerned. So I made this on my machine. This is Feely, the trim that Feely in the movie had on his, and I have the trim from Thror. Keeley and then Feely. I have all of those machine embroidery files for trim, and this came out a little stiff last time, and so I'm probably going to try it again. And actually, that's what I was going to do today instead of patterning, but I got in here and the patterning, it's like, oh, I'll just do the patterning because it's right here and I can work on it. And the machining, I have to get the machine, I have to put the sewing machine away, I have to get the machine embroidery out. I don't have enough, I don't have it set up so that I can do both at the same time. I probably should, but oh well. Anyway, I want to try and make it a little less stiff, especially if I wind up using it as a guard on the bottom of the skirt, because I do have ribbon that I can use for they often had guards, and they were guards. They protected the fabric and the nice fabric of the skirt, and they was on the hem. And I have a ribbon I can use on the hem, and I also have some felt to put in because they padded the hems with felt so that they would, give them some body. I don't know that fabric needs any more body. We'll see once I get the skirt made. And then I may wind up cutting it down just because it's so much. But anyway, we'll see where I get with these. I like them. I know I've seen, like I said, I don't want to default to Celtic, which would be really easy because I could just buy Celtic trim, but I don't really want to, so I'm trying not to do that. And yeah, I think that's about what I've got. Yeah. Just trying to get my sleeves, doing my own ridiculous mishmash between, yes, this is a fantasy dwarf, but yes, this is period appropriate, historical, quasi sort of, well, there's no such thing as historical accuracy in clothing because we're all working off of pictures for the most part. There are really no extant, I think there's like 1 or 2 extant garments from this period, maybe, there really aren't very many. There's one from the earlier period. This is gorgeous wedding gown for, I forget who, but anyway, it's beautiful, but not the period I'm working with. So that's what I'm working on. I apologize for not having any cross stitch. Maybe next time I will. But I just thought I was in here working and I thought I'd just take a minute and pop in and say, hi, this is what I'm working on. It's so not cross stitch. So if you don't hear from me cross stitch otherwise, that's probably why. I probably will post more progress information on my other Instagram. So if you're interested in following me there, go ahead and message me on Instagram at this Creaky Geekery, and I'll give you that one. And yeah, I think that's all I've got. So happy stitching to everybody. Astara is coming up, so blessed Astara to you all, and take care. I'll talk to you later. Bye.